I want to get back to the tax plan. The Tax Writing Committee will begin marking it up in just a couple of hours from now. Joining us, Congressman Lee Zeldin, Republican from New York. Congressman, it's good to have you on the show.
It's great to be with you.
I don't see how a congressman from a wealthy district of Long Island could possibly agree to this tax plan, because your constituents will lose that deduction for state and local taxes. You're going to say no, aren't you?
I'm a no to this bill in its current form. I even have some middle-income taxpayers who are going to be paying more than if we just kept the current law as it is. So last November, when President Trump won my district by over 14.5 points, when we were telling voters, middle-income taxpayers in a district like mine, that we would be fighting for tax cuts for them, this isn't what they had in mind.
They've dumped you, haven't they? I mean, the GOP, you're one of the few Republicans in Congress from New York State, or certainly from Long Island, and they dropped you. They've just dropped you like a ton of bricks.
Well, and I view the proposal to eliminate the state and local tax deduction as being somewhat of a geographical redistribution of wealth. You're taking money from a place like New York to pay for deeper tax cuts elsewhere, and it's important for me. I understand that if I'm not fighting for my home state, if I'm not fighting for my home district, that I can't expect someone else to do that for me.
Well, you're fighting for your own voters. They're not going to vote you back in again if you just said, yeah, you're going to pay more taxes.
You always have to remember where you come from. That's something I'll never lose sight of.
Now, there's a markup going on today, and then the Senate will have its say as well. I don't see how they can make a fundamental change in this, because if they make it so that the 1% does not have to pay more, then you've got to take that extra from someplace else, because you've got to have just $1.5 trillion worth of stimulus over 10 years. You're boxed in. They can't make the kind of changes that you want.
Yeah, and there are some really good changes on the corporate side, even on the corporate side, and as it relates to the overlap with the pass-throughs. There's something that needs to get worked out there. There are people who would complain that you're providing the pass-through rate for a widget maker, but what about me? I'm an attorney. I have a law firm. So the NFIB came out in opposition to the bill, and I think that's great to be able to hear them out and what their concerns are to improve the final product. But on the personal side, the money has to come from somewhere, and it can't come from a hardworking, middle-income Long Islander. And then, but also there are other people who maybe they're upper middle income, maybe they're even wealthier than that. And I put up with 8 years of Barack Obama. I helped elect a Republican House, a Republican Senate. We have unified Republican government, and now they're the ones delivering me with a tax increase. So I'm hearing it from all these New Yorkers of all different stripes, and I need to fight for them.
As I see it, there's going to be quite an exodus of reasonably wealthy people and businesses from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Illinois, California, and they'll go to states like Texas and Florida because there's no state local taxes there, and they'll win by doing that.
And that's why it's really important for all levels of government to be working on tax relief. This shouldn't just be an exercise and a debate and policy change coming from Washington. We need to see it from Albany. We need to see it from City Hall in New York City. But for those who are saying that they're subsidizing New York, I mean, New York is a net contributor as it relates to tax policy and spending policy. I don't want to see a mass exodus coming from my state. We do need to bring down income tax rates, property tax rates, sales tax rates. We absolutely have to do that. But in the meantime, I'm not voting to raise taxes on my constituents, on any of them.
Okay. As you read it, do you think this passes the House?
Possibly. I don't know exactly where the whip count is. There seems to be a lot of unity, a lot of momentum. I'd love to be able to vote yes on this bill, but it would have to change from its current form in order for me to do that.
You're going to run as a Democrat?
No.
Okay. All right. I had to ask, Lee. Lee Zeldin, everyone, Republican, Long Island, New York. Thanks for joining us, sir.
Thanks, Stu.